back another fight week. You probably have more intimate knowledge of this matchup, being that you faced Pacquiao before than anyone can relate to. This is an interesting fight, very different styles, very different size fighters. When you look at a style matchup like this, what strikes you first?
Well, what strikes me first is that we're about to watch two southpaws fight each other, right? A lot of times there's less southpaws in the sport of boxing than there is orthodox or right-handed fighters. So we're used to seeing right-handers versus right-handers, and occasionally you get a right-hander versus southpaw, and we get to see those dynamics play out in the ring, and styles makes fights. So when you see a southpaw versus southpaw, there's a thing that us fighters know in the boxing gym, that some southpaws, out of the habit of fighting so many right-handed fighters, are uncomfortable with fighting their own counterpart, which is another southpaw fighter. You know, when was the last time Pacquiao fought a talented, skillful southpaw who's bigger than him? You know, Errol Spence, last time I saw him fight a southpaw, he was able to dominate it. He was able to utilize basic fundamentals, that long jab and the straight left hand. And I'm just wondering if Pacquiao, in his awkward movement, is it still going to be awkward against the southpaw? I found it awkward against me because of how we line up. And when he chooses to go off to this side, it takes away my left hook. He ducks very low. How is that going to be when he lines up against Errol Spence? I think the angles are going to be different. I think the dynamics are going to be a lot different. And me just thinking about it out loud, I do favor all those different dynamics towards Errol Spence Jr. and not Manny Pacquiao.
You mentioned that it was awkward for you and it took away your left hook. So in your pre-prep, what did you do in your pre-prep that you thought would work well in that stylistic kind of difficulty for you?
Well, I tell people a lot of times, when you're fighting very unique, interesting world-class fighters, you almost can't find somebody to mimic them, right? I grew up with Winky Wright. If you were about to fight Winky Wright, nobody had Winky Wright's jab but Winky Wright. Nobody has Manny Pacquiao's movement but Manny Pacquiao. So you just got to make those adjustments as you see them.
Thank you, sir.